Um, so this is my second HPDE. Now this has been cut into a music video, but I just wanted to show it to you because this is the original tapes for this seem to be gone.
This looks like vintage material.
Yeah, because this was shot on a 8mm camcorder, so it was VHS grade, and then I up converted it to HD, and then I reduced the resolution so it wouldn't jam up as I was trying to share it over the Zoom.
Okay.
So this is Autobahn Country Club, which is in Joliet, so that's about 40 miles south of Chicago. And this is a private motorsports country club. So it's membership only. It's, I believe at the time it opened, the membership was $20,000 initial fee plus $10,000 a year.
Oh, word.
And it's I think the full length course is 4 miles around. It's 40 feet wide all the way around. It's got, as you can see, there's nothing to hit. It's got huge runoff spaces. And it doesn't really have a spectator area. It's designed for members. They do have some spectator races there, but they have to bring in bleachers and stuff. But they have some houses that they built on it, or chalets, I guess, townhomes. And members get used to the track every weekend. Clubs like mine that come visit can only use half the course. So we can use the north half or the south half. Today we're on the south side. And as you can see, I'm making my way around. And again, I had to delete the audio because it's copyrighted music.
This looks like it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but we're just 30 miles from Chicago. It's a cornfield.
Oh, okay.
We're actually not far from the prison.
Fitting.
You know, Joliet Jake.
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah, they don't call them that for nothing. But in Joliet, there's a power plant, there's a river, there's 2 racetracks, and the prison.
Interesting economy.
Well, I mean, that part of Illinois is basically farm country, but yeah, there's a big power plant there, and the power plant is, of course, on the river. And there's a NASCAR track and a drag strip over about 2 miles from where we are. You can see it on a clear day. You can see it across the cornfield because, you know, NASCAR Oval's got the big, huge, high grandstands.
Right. And so essentially, instead of, you know, a golf course country club with houses, instead of the golf, they built the track.
Yes, and if you're a rich guy from Chicago that owns, say, like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or a Porsche,
hell yeah,
where you come and drive it.
Yeah.
Because you can't drive those things in the city.
I mean,
potholes are horrible. No,
but
no. Have you ever driven surface roads in Chicago?
I was saying, I mean, you could, but it wouldn't be advised.
Plus, it's Chicago, so you got snow and ice and salt on the road for what?
11
4 months? 4 full months? Maybe longer. Actually, let me think about that.
Longer.
Up there, November, December, January, February, March. So, yeah. Yeah. And honestly, you can have snow into April and May. Far less likely, but it does happen occasionally. So as you can see, I just got blasted by a Corvette. Now, one of these Corvettes that passed me was actually one of the instructors.
Oh, okay.
I remember he made me so nervous because he sat right on my bumper for like 3 laps. And then he just goes flying by me, and I was like, what the hell? And so I go back, and I was like, yo, who was that in the yellow Corvette? It's like, it was me. It's like, oh. He was like, I was just checking you out. You did real good. And I was like, oh.
Got it.
But at the time, we were on the track, because I kept waving for him to pass, and he wouldn't pass me. And I'm like, what the? You know, because you got a lot going on. You're trying to drive. You're trying to control your surroundings. There goes that Evo blowing by me. You're trying to maintain control of the car. You're trying to keep track of your stuff. I have to shift because this car is a manual transmission, so I got to change gears and stuff. And you're supposed to manage. You're supposed to tell people when to pass you. So when you're on a straightaway, you have to. You're not really giving them permission, but you're telling them, I'm aware that you're there. Please go by me.
Right.
And so you see me pointing. That's when I point. That's what I'm saying. Pass me. And the Corvette just sat on my tail for like corner after corner after corner, lap after lap. Look at how hard I had to work to get by that Miata.
Right.
Because I'm not really any faster than a Miata.
Right.
And rather than letting me go, rather than easing off the gas and letting me go by, she still had her foot in it.
Yeah.
Which is what I was saying. Me and her have some history.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, like, I've got my pedal all the way to the floor, and she's like going almost as hard as she can too, and I'm just eking by her. But anyway, so I'm looking at my mirror, and this Corvette's back there. So every time we get on the straightaway, I point, and he doesn't go. And we get to the next straightaway, and I point again, and he doesn't go. And I'm like, what is going on? What is this guy doing? And it turns out he was observing me drive, because they do that sometimes when you're in Group 2 and you don't have an instructor in the car with you. Because again, they're evaluating us to eventually become race drivers. So they're seeing that we're monitoring, that we're heeding the flags, that we're taking a good line around the course, all the stuff that they would be doing if they were in the car with us. But they have to go around and chase all the cars that don't have an instructor in them and take a look at what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is why it helps to have something like a Corvette. Or he also drove, I think he also had one of those hot-rodded Subarus where he could actually get up and down the course in a hurry if he wanted to. But it was actually, you know, and aside from that thing about me always being the only black guy there, it was fun. Now, one of these, that Mitsubishi was driven by a little Asian lady. But usually it was a bunch of white men and 1 or 2 white women and me. Every now and then some Latino people, but yeah, a lot of times I was by myself. Because out there, you know, I didn't even have friends or family that could go with me. But yeah, this is the rare lost footage of my first HPDE with a video camera in the car at Autobahn Country Club in Joliet, Illinois, and unfortunately that tape is gone forever, so I think this is the only footage that exists.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I can't find, I looked everywhere, and I always keep all those tapes together, so that means either I accidentally threw it away when I was unpacking, like it was in the wrapping paper or something.
Yeah.
Or it left with one of the cameras, because I've bought and sold a couple camcorders since then. So there's a possibility that maybe it was in one of the camcorders when I sold it.
And would you have the camera just mounted inside the car, like a?
Yeah, there's a
early GoPro version.
No, this was like a handy cam. This thing was almost the size of a football, but it because I had a roll cage in the car.
Okay, you attach it to the cage.
Yeah, you could buy a camera mount. In the old days, they used to sell camera mounts specifically to go on your roll cage and bolt it. And it's got a little rubber isolator that absorbs some of the vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, these days I would just use a GoPro.